Alright, this is Reg, and welcome to the next video in the series of video tutorials for Earthbound Music Editor. In this video, we'll be covering the control codes for making songs, like this entire list. This will probably take a couple of videos, but I just want to go over what each note does, like what each control code does, like EO, instrument, E1, panning, E2, time panning. I'll go in depth with those so you know what they do. And as you can see, we're using a blank song. This is actually Onette. I've picked Onette because it already has a good pack of good instrument packs, 0521, and we'll be using its instruments in this song. And yeah, just stuff like that. Anyways, we're just gonna go ahead and get started. So we're gonna start off in channel 0, and I guess while we're doing this, showing you what each of the control codes do, we'll be making a small song with this stuff. So, but I guess first we're gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna go ahead and start from the top of this. So forget about the channel thing. I'm just gonna go over these real quick, since that's what this is about. Anyways, alright, first, 0. End of pattern or subroutine. You don't have to worry about using this, because as it says here, it inserts this where necessary when it's compiling, so EBMused already takes care of that. 0, 1 through 7F, these are these set note lengths. Yeah, these, like I was talking about before, 7F, like, this first number will control when the note ends before it reaches the next note, and F is the volume, so, and that also, actually, yeah, that's pretty much it, so, anyways, I'll talk about that again, and these are the numbers that, refer to, how long a note is. So like you got normal and triplet, you got whole note, which would be a 60, half note, which would be 30, and these are just like how long the notes play out against each other. And I'll talk more about this and handling note lengths when I'm actually working on the song. So I basically just talked about this, so don't worry about it. And these are the notes. These are the notes that are actually going to be making sounds. As you can see, to play the noise C1, you put in 80. And something about, I'm going to talk about this real quick. For C1, C1 will not make a noise. For some reason, the SPC 700 can't play a sound that low. So the lowest note you can play is C sharp. Unless you set the channel to have a fine tune of 26, or if you just at least transpose the song up one pitch, then it'll play a C sharp 1. And anyways, moving on, is basically it. These are just the notes. We'll be messing more with these when we're actually working on the song. C8 will continue the previous note, so if, let's say, you have two notes, you have one note playing and it's 60, let's say a half note. Let's say you have a half note, let's say E1. You have E1 as a half note, and then you have a C8 right after it. It'll just continue that note, so it'll be as if you had a whole note, 60. So if you just want to keep continuously playing a note, you use C8. C9 will stop the note. It'll stop the sound. So you just use that if you have a continuous note that keeps playing and you don't want to like immediately have a sound play after that. CADF, these are the this is kind of like setting up for drums, because since drums are handled like any other instrument, you can't just like put in notes for them. This makes it easy because like if you set a note with control code FA, which I'll talk about later, I guess I'm talking about now, so I just, yeah, listen. CA will be like, let's say you set, let's use Geiges's instruments for an example, because they have a drum set. If I were to set FA1C, which is the 1C is the first percussion instrument in Geiges's set, CA will play that sound at C4, which is the default pitch for the drums. And the next note after that, well, specifically this is the let's see, 1C. That's the snare, and CB would play the cymbal, and CC would be the drum, just like the beating, and the kick. That's what I'm thinking about. That's what's called the kick. CC is the kick, CA is the snare, and CB is the I would say the hat. But I mean, forgive me if I get my terminology wrong. I'm not really majorly musically inclined, so I might get names and stuff wrong like that sometimes, so just forgive me for that. So basically that's what FA does. And anyways, we're just going to go ahead and, since we now have all this covered, we're just going to go ahead and start messing with these codes. And instead of just explaining these, we'll actually be using these as I explain them. So, cool. Anyways, first thing we're going to do is, yeah, might as well get rid of this, don't need it. Or I guess we will. Anyways, we're going to go back to channel 0, and the first control code we'll be looking at is E0, which is, which sets the instrument up for that channel. So let's say I want a sawtooth. That would be 0E. So we type E0, 0E, and press enter, and there you go. You have set up an instrument for this channel. So now if I were to put a note in here, like let's say 86, 84, no 85, 84, 89, and continue and rest. Alright, now that we have that in, and you still don't see any notes, and that's because we haven't set note length and note style. So what you do here is, after you set the instrument, you go down to the box down here, and you type, let's say, we wanted to make it like, let's do 08 and 7F. And like I said, I'm going to do a quick recap of these. 08 is how long the note is. 08 is, let me see, it's an eighth and a triplet. And the 7F is like, the 7's the release, when the note's released, when the note ends before it reaches the next note. And F is the volume control for notes played after this. So, I guess if you want to do like really basic melodies and all that, you would just cover these. You just use this. Like if you just want to do a basic instrument track, you just put your E0 in your instrument, and then you put 08, 7F, or whatever settings you're comfortable with. But if you just want to do basic melody creation, this works. This is pretty much your basic setup. And as you can see, now you can see the notes. So let's try playing it. Right, that was a little quiet, so we'll make it something much louder, much more higher pitched. Right, that's kind of fast, but it shows the point pretty well. And anyways, I guess before I move on, we're almost out of time, so I'm going to go over more control codes in the next video. So if you have any questions, ask me in the comments. And thanks, and have a nice day.